Hey friend, Graham here from recordingrevolution.com. And today I just want to give you my 3 plugin vocal chain that you can use to get professional sounding vocals in your own sessions, even using stock plugins. Now, the song I'm featuring in today's video is actually a song we're mixing right now in our monthly mixing membership program called Dueling Mixes, where we do complete mix breakdowns. You get free multi-tracks every month, coaching, all kinds of goodies. And you can actually get a free 14-day trial of it over at duelingmixes.com right now. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the video, but for now, let's jump into what these 3 plugins are and how you can use them to get a more professional vocal in your mix. Here we are at a part of the song where everything's pretty much mixed, so I want you to get a sense of the vibe of what it was supposed to sound like, and then I'll zero in on the vocal, show you what the raw vocal sounds like, and the 3 plugins I'm using to get it to sound a lot better.
Burn the flag, surrender up this war. Breathe me in, won't you please? Share a drifter's port as wanderlust sets in. Eager for the next round to begin. I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more.
All right, sounding cool, sounding rocking. The vocals by themselves, if we get rid of the delay and plugins, there's really a doubled lead vocal. Let's get to the main hook.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more.
Okay, there's a lot of problems here. Let's just zero in on one vocal and ignore the double for now.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more.
Now, no offense to the artist, but this is pretty par for the course, pretty typical home studio vocal. It's muffled, some weird frequencies going on, probably because it was recorded in a closet or a small room, and those just create some weird nodes. You can hear the microphone overloading, with air overloading the microphone, so it sounds a little distorted on certain words. It just does not sound upfront. It does not sound polished. It does not sound pristine. And so that's a problem because in a mix, it's going to get buried and sound really amateur. Okay, if I actually keep all the plugins off and on the vocals, so raw vocals with all the rest of the band mixed, you can hear how it just sounds weak.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more.
Right? That's not going to fly. So what we got to do is bring out the vocal. And if you get a vocal like this and you think, oh, there's nothing I can do to make it better, there's a lot you can do, and it doesn't take much, believe it or not. So let's zero in on this lead vocal here.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it
The first thing we got to start with is EQ, and this is the first plugin in your chain. I'm using stock plugins on the entirety of this mix, by the way. It's part of the fun. And so the biggest thing you can do to help your vocal out is to EQ it well. And what are we looking for? Well, I've done 5 EQ moves on this vocal because this vocal really was kind of rough in my opinion. So the first thing I did was roll off some low end using what's called a high pass filter. It's also called a low cut. They do the same thing, 2 different names for the same thing. And it's a filter that I've rolled off on this vocal super high. I've rolled off up to 219 hertz. That means everything below 219 is being lopped off. This is crazy huge. So let me take off the other EQ moves and you can hear what this is doing. Here's the raw vocal and then I'll just turn on the filter.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown.
Cleans up the low end nicely, right?
I'm counting seconds to the fallout.
Take it away.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout.
Hear how much air on fallout kind of overloads the mic?
I'm counting seconds to the fallout.
Filter it out.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout.
It cleans up that problem. That's the first thing I'm doing. The second thing I did was look for the low mid frequencies, those weird tones that are in the room. And if you record in a home studio or a bedroom, you probably have these. I have these. I record here in my home studio. I always have to go filter out something. It's very, very important. So I actually took out two frequencies. I took out a little notch at 316 and then a little notch at 614, which is kind of like an octave up. And how do you know what to cut out? Well, you don't. I just boost like crazy and I sweep around in the problem areas, which are anywhere from 200 to 600 hertz, generally speaking, for a vocal or for a lot of tracks. I boost it so it's really high, sweep around till I find where there's a lot of energy and the vocal sounds really bad. I have a feeling that that's a clue as to where there's problems, and then I notch them out 3 to 6 dB. In this case, I did 3 dB on both. So you can kind of hear how this cleans up when I turn these on.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more. Is it the innocence we needed? The time is coming, give a little more.
So these are more subtle, and depending on what kind of speakers you have or what kind of headphones you have, you may not notice this as much because certain speakers are going to hide it better than others. But if your speakers or your headphones are showing these frequencies well, you'll hear a little bit of it being cleaned up. So it's a little more articulate, a little clearer. And all I've done so far is 3 cuts. I've taken away frequencies. And that's where you want to start with home studio vocals, man, is there's usually too much low end and low mid. So I've taken those out. Now I want to open up and feature what is good. So I've got a little bit of a bump here at 5K to open up some of the articulation on the vocals. So take a listen to what that sounds like.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more.
There was just a little bit there that I thought I needed to hear more of at 5K. And then my favorite move is just a simple little shelf from 6 to 8K and up. Sometimes I'm doing this on 8K and up, sometimes it's 6. Depends on the EQ. And so this is a shelf boost, which means you boost up at that frequency and then everything to the right of it, in this case, because it's a high shelf. This is going to open up the breathiness of the vocal. You can hear what this does.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more.
Now it's a little bit more upfront sounding. Let's add all those up together. That was 5 little EQ moves in one simple stock EQ plugin. We'll take it away and you hear where the vocal came from.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more. Is it the innocence we needed? Much
better, right? Now we're like, that's a vocal. That's one plugin. That's all you need. That's the big one, though. That's the money maker right there. You just need your stock EQ. You don't need anything fancy. So we follow that up with compression because compression is a vocalist's best friend. Vocals are so dynamic. They're all over the place. I don't have time to get into the mechanics of compression in this video. I've covered that at length. I've got an entire compression series you can check out. But right now, what I want you to focus on is just get a compressor that's doing just real gentle 3 dB, maybe 6 dB of gain reduction on the lead vocal. So I just grabbed a stock plugin. This is a cool one that Pro Tools has, their BF76. And I just dial it in until I'm watching this meter. And I just want it to sort of do 3 dB of gain reduction.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown.
And what this is going to do is make the vocal sound more up front. It's going to turn down the loud parts, bring up the quiet parts, and make him sound more consistent and up front without doing any squashing, because I'm just looking at 3 to maybe 6 dB of gain reduction. So it's real gentle. Then the secret is to stack it. It's one of my favorite tricks. So that was plugin 2. Plugin 3 is another compressor. So you have one EQ and then two compressors. And I, in this case, grabbed the only other stock compressor in Pro Tools, the Dynamics 3. And this is a simple, classic digital compressor. It sounds great. I actually think it adds some high end to things from my experience. So it's great if you want to open up things a little bit more. And I find a very gentle setting too. I started with a preset on this one, vocal comp, and I tweaked from there. This is a very low ratio, medium attack and release, real vanilla settings. The key here though is setting the threshold and watching the gain reduction meter to figure out if you're doing, again, another 3 to 6 dB of gain reduction. So now you're just turning down the already compressed track just a little bit to even it out. And you use the makeup gain to make sure you're not losing signal. You're just keeping the same output as you have the input.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown.
Right? So what we've got here is now a more upfront vocal. If I were to just take away the compressors, you can hear kind of what it's doing.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more. Is it the innocence we needed? The time is coming, give a little more.
It's fuller. The quieter parts where he trails off, they're now louder. So there is more gain on the quieter parts, but the louder parts stay about the same volume. That's what gives you that really urgent sound, which is really nice and upfront. So all three, if you take them all three away, it's huge.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more.
More clear, more aggressive, more upfront, more focused. And in the mix, it's huge, right? Especially if he's got his double in. So they're massively important to have all those plugins in.
I'm counting seconds to the fallout. Call it crazy, call it civil war. Find the beauty in the letdown. The fire keeps you coming back for more. Is it the innocence we needed? The time is coming, give a little more. The beauty's living in the breakdown. Silence takes me as I hear.
There you go. That's my 3 plugin vocal chain for getting a more professional sounding vocal. 1 EQ, 1 compressor, followed by a second compressor. It can even be the exact same compressor as this. Just make sure they're only doing 3 to 6 dB of gain reduction a piece, and using the EQ to, clean up low end, low mid, brighten up the top end and the upper mid range so that the vocal is nice and articulate. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is a song we're actually mixing this month inside of my mixing membership community, which is called Dueling Mixes. If you're not a part of it, I want to get you in there to check it out on my dime. I'm giving you a free 14-day trial to check it out. I'm going to put the link up here at duelingmixes.com and in the description box so you can get your free trial. What we do every month is so much fun. You get a fresh set of multi-tracks to practice on. We're all mixing the same song. You get coaching from 2 mix engineers, me and my buddy Joe Gilder. And what we do is we independently mix this same song and then present them to you so you actually can hear what 2 different mixers can do with the same set of multi-tracks. The point of that being to show you what's possible with the same set of multi-tracks. We both land in very different spots so you can hear what's possible. We each do custom tutorials for how we got our mixes, what plugins we're using, how we use those plugins, what automation we're doing, what our challenges were. We break the whole mix down for you in front of you so you can learn from each of us. Then there is live coaching from Joe and I where you can jump on and ask any question you want. We can interact live and help you and coach you. There is the most supportive community on planet Earth when it comes to audio and mixing and recording. These are literally the best people I've ever found, and I've been a part of a lot of communities online. This is where you can get encouragement, get feedback on your mixes, all kinds of stuff. We do gear giveaways and competitions every single month. And like I said, it's a brand new set of multi-tracks, a new song every single month. So get in on the action, test it out, see if it's something that you'll like. I think you'll love it. Our members love it, and we've been doing this for years and years. And the 14-day free trial, like I said, is at duelingmixes.com for you to jump in and check it out. That's it for today, my friend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for supporting what we do at the Recording Revolution. I hope you're enjoying it, and I will see you on another video real soon.